Hello, and we're live. Welcome to today's webinar. Really excited to be taking you through an insight into the PTC system. So the PTC system, if you don't know already, is really how expert personal trainers can grow their business and create six-figure freedom and income without the traditional way of doing it, which is really working 50, 60, 70 hours a week and building something that in the long term is unsustainable. And so today, what I'm going to be showing you through really is the 4 steps to creating a really successful PT business and the 4 steps to actually doing that in a sustainable way and a way where you get to work with the best clients you can. Right. And look, I'm Martin. I'm the founder of the Business Academy of Fitness Professionals. So look, for the past 3 years, I've been helping personal trainers really grow their business, grow their impact, grow their freedom, and just building something they're truly proud of, because traditionally PTs are really hard game to get right. And what you're probably experiencing, if I'm really honest, is you're probably experiencing exactly what I went through, exactly what my clients go through as well before they come and actually implement the PTC system. And you're probably going through long hours at the minute. You're going through that kind of hustle where you're working 5 a.m., you're working maybe till 8, 9 o'clock at night. You're doing that 5, 6, 7 days a week. And what's happening when you're actually doing that is you're building a business that doesn't really give you any freedom, because you're tied to the gym or you're tied to bringing in clients, whether you're an online trainer or face-to-face. You're constantly tied to your business, which at first is not a bad place to be. At first, you don't really mind about that, but eventually you start to feel it. And as you start to feel it, this is when the confusion starts, because you know that there's another way. There's plenty of people out there at the minute telling you there's another way to do things, but you're confused which way to go. You're confused which is the best one for you, and you're confused how you can actually go on and grow your business. And the final thing that's really happening is kind of the nail in the coffin, if I'm really honest. It's the inconsistent pay behind it. Because you can be doing all these things and still not getting paid 6 figures or multiple 6 figures for it. Okay, you can still be doing all those things and you're around the 50, 60, 80K mark. Okay, and that's fine. But if you truly want a business that's going to provide for you long term, then I know that you're feeling a little bit negative about things, because I was in exactly the same position, right? So in 2005 to 2010, I was what you would call busy and broke. All right. Now, financially, look, I was doing okay. I wasn't broke. I could afford to pay my rent. I could afford food, nothing like that. But I was busy and broke in the fact that my business was built on really shabby foundations for a start. All right. I worked hard to get my business where it was. I started in 2005. And why my business was built the way it was is because my first gym manager, lovely guy, really did try to help me, just didn't really know another way. And I said to him, how am I going to stand out as a young, I was still in my late teens at this point. And I said, how am I going to stand out against 13 other PTs? And he was like, Martin, you've got to arrive earlier than everyone else and leave later at night. So that's what I built my business on. Okay. Being first in, leaving at night. All right. And what happened then was I worked hard. I got the results. I definitely got the results. I was earning okay money, but about 2.5 years in, I won an award with Fitness First at the time. And they sent me on this really nice all-inclusive holiday to Mexico, me and my girlfriend at the time. And, I had the best 2 weeks of my life. Really did, really relaxed. And I got home. It was my first holiday since I've been a PT. And I got home to literally half my client base disappearing, because I hadn't built any loyalty with them. I hadn't built real relationships. I thought I had, but I hadn't. And as soon as a few other PTs went in with lower prices, a few didn't have the commitment once they'd been out of my training for a few weeks, it just proved to me exactly what was going on. All right. I didn't have a business that was in any way sustainable. All right. And that was a hit to the ego. But I thought, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to build something that I'm really proud of. All right. But the fact is, I couldn't get ahead because I tried running more sessions. All right. Because it's the natural thing to do, isn't it? You try running more sessions because you say, well, I need more money. Okay. I want to help more people. So I'll run more sessions. Okay. Problem is with that, you work longer hours. Okay. And I was already working long hours as it was. And the other thing is you've only got so much time in your day. Okay, so that's when I decided to increase my prices as well. But problem with increasing my prices was I all of a sudden became kind of this young PT who was charging, pretty high rates. And, there was no reason for me to increase my prices. I didn't know how to stand out from the other PTs. I got a few great results, but why was I increasing my prices? I was busy all the time. And that's what led me to start to try and get clients from social media. All right. So I started posting on my social media page, my Facebook page at the time. But the problem was it was all my friends and family. All right. This was before Facebook ads. And what I started doing then was saying, well, my friends and family are on my Facebook. They're not going to want to work with me because they're friends and family. So I have to reduce my prices. So I actually started going back to my old price structure again. Right. So this happened for 5 years. This went on and on and on. All right. And 5 years in, what happened was the big shift in my career and my, everything I did as a PT was a big shift because what happened was my girlfriend of 4 years, we actually broke up. I got home one night into our apartment and she'd gone. And the reason why she gave me when I found out later was the fact that I was always working 7 days a week. We'd had one holiday in the 4 years. Like it was too much. And, not that we're in any place of settling down, still our early 20s, but, she just didn't see that life anymore. And, looking back now, completely get it. But at the time I was so confused because in my mind, I was just like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to build success. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to actually get ahead in life. And it wasn't right at that moment that I changed things, but about 6 months later, I really broke down. I realized that it was either I leave personal training or I find another way of doing something. Okay. And I really didn't, after 5 years, I was like, I've got to give this one last shot. And look, I had connections in the industry and there was a guy I knew in London who'd, just from his Facebook page alone, I'd really seen him change a lot in the past 12 months. We were a similar age, similar kind of, we were both doing a lot of sessions. And all of a sudden he kind of blown up this brand on Facebook. And, I could tell he was doing really well, a lot better than I was all of a sudden. So, I sent him a message and he actually said he'd got a business coach. I was happy to pass on my details. And that was literally my defining moment of what happened in my PT career. Because when I actually met with this guy, I caught up for a coffee with him and he pretty much laughed in my face. I told him about my business. He wasn't pulling any punches. He actually said to me, he was like, I don't understand why PTs, and this was back in 2010. He's like, I don't understand why PTs make it so difficult. He's like, they've got this kind of inherent need to work hard. The whole system is built on this kind of hustle, working long hours, focusing on one-to-one time with clients. He was like, it's okay when you start, you're building your craft, but he's like, after 12 months of doing that, he's like, you really need to be focusing on your business skills. And that was a big eye-opener for me because I'd never really thought about that. So my big shift there was I left the gym I'd spent 5 years at. I'd built my business there and I started at a new gym about 45 minutes drive away, fresh start. And within 3 months, I was already making more money than I ever had before. Okay. And within 6 months, I'd done over $100,000 in revenue and profit. And over the next few years, that went to multiple six figures per year. And there were some really key reasons behind it, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. But from this is where I really created the PTC formula. Now, the PTC formula is the system I've been using for the past 3 years to help personal trainers grow their business. But it's really funny because personal trainers right now, they think to grow their business is running more sessions, increasing prices, working long hours. They think that they aren't experienced enough to do, increase their prices. They think they've got to get more qualifications, but it's none of that. Right? And really what it is, the real problem as to why you're not growing your business right now is these 3 reasons. You're too general. Okay. You're working with anyone and everyone. All right. That was my biggest problem. So I was working with absolutely anyone that would come into my business. All right. I shifted that straight away. That was the first change that I made. I actually went into helping women lose 30 kilos or more, because the reason why is because my mum was always obese when I was growing up, or ever since I met her. And what I did was I put in this system about a few months after meeting my mentor. And what we did over 12 months, we were able to help her lose 60 kilos. All right. And I started honing in on that system and using my mum almost as a guinea pig to start building a perfect system to help people lose weight, but the mindset shifts and everything they needed. And then that became what I became known for, right? The second thing is you don't have a consistent go-to client attraction system. A lot of people rely on leads from the gym, all right? A lot of people rely on word of mouth, but if you really want to grow a sustainable business face-to-face and online, you've got to have a consistent go-to system that brings you in a guaranteed number of leads a week, a guaranteed number of conversations, all right? Something guaranteed to give you attention to the right sort of clients. And the final piece is you're undercharging, you're offering low ticket, all right? So many people charge low ticket because they don't believe in their value. And they don't believe in their value because they've not got these things going on in the background. They are too general. They don't have a way of bringing in consistent leads and clients into the business. So then they make their service about the price. All right. And if you're doing this right now, this is always going to cause you a problem because it doesn't change unless you actually put in the systems to change it. And look, this isn't just you. All right. This was me as well. And this was Simon. Simon's one of my clients, and Simon was, really great at what he did. But these 3 things were going wrong for him as well. He was trying to work with anyone. He got this new program that he wanted to sell and help people with, but he was selling it to anyone. All right. And he just couldn't catch a break because he just didn't know how to bring in new clients. So what he did then was he started reducing his prices. So he was attracting people that, only worked with him because he was cheap. And then even though he got more clients, he still wasn't making enough money. Okay. And then what happened was, because these clients were inconsistent and they weren't really there for the right reasons, his business was just falling apart daily. All right. So we changed all this. We honed in on who we wanted to work with. We honed in on how to bring in consistent clients, and we honed in on his pricing. He now charges $2,000 a client and he's fully booked. Okay. Now, there's loads of ways to do this. All right, it's different for each client, but he followed the process of the PTC system, and literally within weeks, okay, he had 2 people paying him $6,000. Okay, so that's 12 grand. That was literally half of what he'd earned the year before. He was really in a bad place. Okay, he was earning 20K out of his PT business. Okay, Jackie's another great example of what happens when you shift your mindset around working with anyone, not bringing in enough clients, and also charging. Because Jackie was an expert, but he thought he was expensive at $80 an hour. Okay, he had no idea how to actually go past that. So he ended up working way too many hours, working with anyone and everyone, and just didn't really see. He was getting really confused as to what to do next. All right, now Jackie charges $12K a client. Okay, and not long ago, he did his first 30K month. All right, and that's from one campaign. And this was the message that Jackie gave me when he first took on his first 12K client. Okay, imagine going from somebody paying you $80 an hour, an 800 block booking session, you know, kind of coming for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden somebody's paying you 12K up front in full. All right, now, where you're at right now, could you just charge 12K tomorrow? Probably not. All right, you might be able to, but it's probably not an option because you haven't got the right system, you haven't got the right process in place to actually do it, and you don't know how to actually bring in clients at that price point. And this is where the PTC system comes in. This is my system, all right? It's deliberately and specifically designed to bring in and sell high ticket personal training clients, because high ticket clients honestly are where the biggest transformations happen. All right, in my experience and my clients' experience, your results with clients increase with their commitment through financials. All right, so what is the PTC system? All right, what is it? It is literally a 4-step process to your 6 figures. And what it's based on is creating traction, first of all right, because as I just said, where you're at now, you probably aren't in a position to charge $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 up front for your services. Okay, if you change your prices tomorrow and doubled them, you probably wouldn't be able to actually command that, right? Because you don't have the traction in place. Okay. Secondly, you've got to establish authority, because people buy from people they trust. If you're an authority, if people trust you, they're going to be more likely to buy off you. And that's when you start to magnetize a different sort of client. You start to magnetize clients who are specifically interested in your business and not just personal training sessions. And you get these 3 things in place. That's when you can start to close deals, but not only close deals at higher price points. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is really take you in depth and, you know, grab a pen and paper, because this stuff is really, really powerful. This stuff is literally how you can change your business today. Okay, because you get these 4 things in place, you create 6-figure freedom, and you create multiple 6-figure freedom. So let's dive into creating traction, because as I said, without traction, you're in a place of competition, you're in a place of long hours, low prices. And the reason why is because, in fact, I'm just going to, you will have to excuse my drawings, but this is a really good way of putting this. But without traction, you are all of these things. So what we're looking for is we're looking to really change where you're at now. So traction is where you're kind of fitting in. Okay, without traction is where you're kind of fitting in. And we really want to kind of move away from that position. So to do that, what we've got to do is, first of all, we've got to niche services. All right, so I'm just going to kind of give you a bit of an insight into this. So people are scared of, you know, standing out really. But if you want to grow your business, you're going to have to do that, because you really have to excuse my diagrams here. But normally we kind of, you know, if you're working in a gym right now, or you're, you know, maybe even online, like, you're probably kind of doing what everyone else is doing. All right. So you're having all these problems, the competition, the long hours, the low prices, because there's no reason why somebody would look at you and really believe you deserve, you know, higher prices, or there's probably no reason why they go to you over anyone else. All right. Because you're all offering the same price. You're all offering the same service, you know, the same way you do things one-to-one online. Okay. So what you've got to do is you really got to move out, and niching services is the best way to do that. Because if all of a sudden you're over here and all of a sudden you've got something that you're talking about that is different to these guys here, okay, straight away you stand out. All right, straight away you're in a different position. So I call this staking your claim in the market. Now, this is what I did when I all of a sudden went from training anyone to say, no, I specialize in helping women lose 30 kilograms. Okay, that was my niche service. I didn't do anything else. All right, I didn't want to do anything else from that point forward. Okay, so it's a really powerful thing to niche services, because all of a sudden you're in a different position to anyone else. Now, after that, what you've got to do I'm just going to kind of have a little draw on these slides, because it's a really great way to do it. So the second thing you've got to do is you can't just talk about it and that's it, okay? You've got to then have a system, all right? So this is exactly what I have now with the PTC formula. So what is your PTC formula? All right, mine's, exactly what I'm going through with you now: creating traction, establish authority, magnetizing clients, closing deals, okay? You get that into place, you're at 6 figures. Okay, you put those 4 steps in place, you're at 6 figures. So what's your system? What's your system that you can actually talk about, and what are the stages to do that? So if you're helping weight loss, is it nutrition? Is it mindset? What is it? And then once you've done that, once you're in a position of talking about your new niche services, you've got a system that you can actually talk about too, that actually is the steps to get them there. Then what is that final piece? You've got to build an offer around it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is this: once you've built your system, what's your offer and how much does it cost? Okay, that is how you create traction. Okay, because what it does is it allows, and again, you really have to excuse my drawing, but you're separating yourself from the crowd. Okay, now there's a system to doing this. As we said, you've got to know your niche. You've got to build a really prominent system that's actually going to attract clients, and you've got to create an offer that's irresistible to the right people. But this is how you bring in traction to your business. Without this, you're never going to do it. Okay, there's always going to be a question mark of how can I actually do the right things to actually get some results. Okay, so really, really powerful way to create traction is through these 3 steps. Okay, so look, creating traction is the base. All right, once you've done that, you can start to really see changes. All right, and it doesn't take very long. So this process that I'm showing you on the screen now, this is less than 30 days to do this and to actually start getting results. All right, and there's an example here of Nyla. Okay, Nyla's only 22 years old and she's only been in PT for a year. All right, and the problem was she'd been given some advice to do a lot of freebies. All right, she does a mixture of online and face-to-face. Been given advice to do a lot of free stuff. All right, and what that was doing was meaning she was working a lot of hours. She was putting a lot of effort and attention into free Facebook groups. She was putting a lot of effort and attention into free sessions and running group classes, but nobody was paying her. All right, so we literally found out, where she should niche herself. Built the system that was really going to help her ideal clients get a great result, and then we packaged that into something that she could sell. And she now charges $2,000 for that. But her first package, okay, within week 1, she took $1,500 for that. All right, it was a 4-week package for her new clients, okay? And then she could offer an upgrade after that. But that is where you start really noticing when traction works, okay? You can see just from this message how excited she is, because imagine being in a situation where, for the past year, you've been trying all these new things. You've been trying to do things a way you think is right, and then all of a sudden you get paid for it literally within a week of having this in place. And this is just step 1 of the process. All right, so really is powerful. To build traction in your business is the first way and the foundations to getting this right. What happens then? Okay, so you've staked your claim in the market. You've said, for example, with me, I stake my claim as the person who helped people lose 30 kilos or more. Okay, what happens then? That's when you can start to establish authority. Now, without authority, okay, people don't really trust you. There's fear of pricing. There's a lack of leads because you're not necessarily somebody in the market that is that go-to person. Okay, so what you need to do is, from that claim you have, you need to start building your authority, because people want authority. All right, especially on social media nowadays. Like, people want authority. They want to work with someone who is proven in what they do. Okay, so first of all, you've got to be the painkiller. All right, you've got to be somebody who understands your client's problem. So for example, they've got to know that you understand their biggest problem. So you've got to talk about their biggest problem, right? For personal trainers, their biggest problem is long hours and not getting paid enough. Okay. And that's why I talk about it. There's so much more to business than that. But the biggest problems in personal training are around that. The biggest problem for your ideal market might be weight loss. And the stress it causes on the body, the stress it causes on the emotions. Then what you've got to do is take them to that next stage. Then you've got to educate them. You've got to educate them, give them an insight that you are the expert, that you're the authority and you know what to do. Okay, so you understand not only their pain, but you understand how to solve their problem. And then you've got to become that expert. You've got to keep showing up as that expert on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Okay, and you've got to prove to them that you're there to stay. Now, building authority, again, isn't a 10-year process. Building authority is usually a 30 to 90-day process. All right, doing this with the right systems and doing it with the right intensity is how you start to actually move forward and build authority and put yourself in a great position as an expert. All right, this was an example for Brad. So Brad's actually been a head coach at one of the biggest football teams in Australia. And the problem was with Brad, he left this head coaching role and, thought that was going to be enough for his business because he is an expert, but he didn't have any traction in his business for a start. And the second thing, he wasn't letting people know that he actually was an expert. He wasn't the authority. Okay, so he run different programs and then he went down to, lower prices to bring in more clients and just found himself working really hard and not really getting very much out of it. Okay, so the first thing we did, we positioned him, to build traction. We positioned his first package at $1,500. Okay, and what happened then? He started to get people coming through his $1,500 package, and now he sells more long-term commitments to players, to footy players who want to improve their game and improve their standard of game to get into the VFL or the AFL. So not only is he now charging 10K a client, but he's also getting much better results. He's raising his own game in his PT business. And look, just within a few weeks, Brad had already taken his first $1,500 client. Now that's around, it's around 10, 15 times higher in terms of price, what he was charging for the same thing, right? It's just your positioning, how you position yourself as an expert and authority. Once you've got the traction, once you've built authority, now you're going to be in a position here where you've never had so much influx of new business, all right? Because what happens then is you start this situation where you're magnetizing ideal clients. So it's completely the opposite to how personal trainers normally work, all right? Normally personal trainers chase clients, they work hard, they put in the hours. Some use manipulative, sleazy tactics, and not all, and I hope that that's not you, but some do. And a lot of them have low confidence around what they actually offer, all right? But that's very different when you've got traction and when you're becoming an authority, all right? But the final thing is you've got to magnetize ideal clients because it doesn't just happen. So I'm going to put all three on here because you've got to understand the psychology of somebody buying. Okay, you've got to understand that there's six emotional states at what people buy at. Okay, so you've got to take them, after you've built the authority, you've got to take them through a process where they know, like, and trust you. And when they know, like, and trust you, you've got to put your offers and you've got to put your service in front of them at the right time. Because there's nothing worse than personal trainers who put out offers of free challenges, they put out offers of their service in front of people that don't know them, don't like them, or don't trust them. Okay, they just haven't built that relationship yet. Okay, so what you're really looking to do when you're magnetizing ideal clients is you're using your skills, you're using your traction, you're using your authority to actually build a relationship with people so they know, like, and trust you. And then you put the right offer in front of them at the right time. And because you've already built that, because you've already built the traction and authority, okay, you give yourself the best opportunity to actually bring in ideal clients, and you actually give yourself the opportunity to start building a really sustainable business where you're not working really hard for, you're not chasing clients, they're coming to you. Okay, so the final piece to this puzzle, stage 4 of the PTC system, is your closing deals. Okay, because as I said, at this point, you won't be used to the amount of interest in your business. Okay, it's not normal that people will be, consistently messaging you. It's not normal that people will be consistently wanting to work with you. So you've got to have a system in place to bring those right people in, because not everyone is going to be right to work with you. Okay, but where most PTs sit is they struggle with sales. They struggle with the confidence in their selling. So what that leads to is they're just not bringing enough money. All right. And then they get stressed about the fact that they're not getting paid enough. Okay. And when you're not getting paid enough, you're going into consultations or phone calls and you're not reading red flags. Okay. And you're taking on the wrong clients. Somebody isn't fully committed to working with you, like it's 100%, 10 out of 10, 50 out of 10, then it's not a great position to make an offer. All right. And this is the system we use, because there's got to be a massive mindset shift, different psychology going into bringing in new clients when you're actually using the PTC system. Okay. So there's a strict setup process where you want people to be jumping through hoops to come and work with you. And a great stage of this is to become an application business. All right. Everyone who works with myself, everyone who goes through this system is an application business. All right. People apply to work with them, and they've got to be 100% sure that they can actually, number one, the client's got to commit to the process that you use. And number two is you've got to be sure that it's the right person to come into your business. Okay. And when you do this, when you set up a process where you understand the psychology of closing deals, when you understand the process of graceful selling, and graceful meaning bringing in the right clients. And when you become an application business where you're not chasing, where you're not thinking of finances, because you've got so much traction in the background that you don't need to, and you shouldn't work with everybody. That's when you can start to sell at a new higher price point. And selling at a higher price point, yes, it means that some people won't come and work with you, but it means that those people that do come and work with you are really committed to your process. And also the benefit of working with people at a higher price point is you don't need to work with as many clients. All right. And when you don't work with as many clients, you actually have time to focus on their results, rather than most PTs, whether online or face-to-face. If you're face-to-face, you're back-to-back all day, okay? Or you just don't have enough clients, so you're spreading yourself too thin to try and get new clients. If you're online, you're probably throwing so many people into a Facebook group, or you're working with so many clients that it's just become overwhelming, all right? And all that's because you haven't got the first 3 stages in place to actually sell at a new higher price point. Sell your packages at $3, $5, $10, $20, $30,000. Okay. Once you have these 3 stages in place, you can close deals at a different level. All right. You're a different prospect to anyone else in the market. And that's exactly what happened with Benny. So look, Benny was already doing 100K. Okay. Just done a little bit over that before we started working together. So he's already doing 6 figures, but working with some clients who just weren't as committed as he was, effectively. They weren't really in a place where he was getting back what he was putting in. Okay. So a lot of cancellations, up and down, even though he's doing 6 figures, he was just never at home. Right. And he kind of had that badge of honor. He was like, that's PT. that's how it's supposed to be. But then, you know, he started to listen to what I had to say. I loved the PTC system and really wanted to be a high ticket PT where he was charging what he was worth. You know, he'd been personal training for a number of years and wanted to charge what he knew he was worth. Okay, and this is him checking in with his first $36,000 a year client. Now, this wasn't an upfront payment. This was a payment plan payment. But now Benny does charge $40K per package per client upfront for the year. And, you know, that means he's only working with about 6 to 10 clients per year. And, you know, he fills his books pretty quickly. He's actually got a waiting list for his services. Okay. Now this is what, when you get stage 1, 2, 3, 4 in, okay, you close deals at that higher price point, it puts your business in a completely different place. All right. You're an expert and you can really command those expert prices. And what that does really is, when you've got all these in place, that's when you have six-figure freedom. Now, six-figure freedom it's more than six-figure income. All right, six-figure income isn't really what we look for, because six-figure income minus your gym rent or minus your marketing costs, whatever, all these costs incurred, then, you know, you're not exactly in a much different place to where you're at right now, right? But what we want to aim for is, you know, multiple six-figure profits. That's really what we're looking for. And when you start to put these stages into place to create traction, you know, you're the authority, you magnetize the clients, and you know how to close deals. When you do that, you're not, like I said, you're not chasing anymore. You're not in a position where you're having to bring in new clients all the time. You're having to work those long hours. So not only do you have multiple six figures coming into your business, you're working a lot less on your business. You're actually getting more time to work and focus on your ideal clients. You're building deep, strong relationships with those clients as well, because they're getting the transformations. Okay, all my clients now have been with me for well over a year. Okay, every single one of them in my mastermind. And what is the best thing about that is they also have their clients for over a year too. So imagine having your business now where all your clients have been with you for over a year. They're all paying $10,000, $20,000 per year to work with you. And you don't need as many clients to actually come through your business to still earn six figures, but you've got so much more freedom. You've got so much more enjoyment. Okay, you're not hustling, you're not grinding. And that's really what we're looking for. Now, I've been through these, you know, the 4 stages to get you to six-figure freedom. All right, that is literally the step-by-step process of how my clients get results. Okay, and you've seen some, you know, some of the awesome results we have there. But you're probably watching this now going, that sounds okay. But the problem is there's more to this as well. All right, and you know, I always ask this question to, you know, when I do live events in person, and with new clients as well. Why do PTs still fail? Like, because there's plenty of info online, and there's plenty of info as to how to get this. You know, not everyone's is the same, but there's plenty of info out there to be successful. But why does PTs fail? Because number one, they don't have a mentor. Now, there's no judgment on this from me, because I was the same. First 5 years, I didn't have a mentor, and I didn't think I needed a mentor because, you know, I just kind of thought I'd work it out. But now, in the last 8 years, I've had a number of different mentors. And in 2017, I spent 6 figures on mentors. 2018, spent over 6 figures on mentors. You know, my first mentor back then cost me about 10 grand in terms of dollars. And I didn't have that money, but I knew that there needed to be a different way. And I hadn't figured it out on my own. You know, it'd taken me 5 years and I just wasn't really any further ahead. But as well, it's kind of for your own clients, because you expect people to invest into you and your service. But most people don't have a mentor themselves. So, you know, it's kind of that, you know, it's being the client you wish to attract. All right. So you really want to look into what benefit a mentor could give you. Okay. People come to you because they believe that they can get a lot of help in regards to their health and fitness. Okay. You want to look into how you can find a mentor that can really help you go to six figures if that's what you want to do. And if you want to build a high ticket business as well, you know, work with someone who's done that. Okay. That's what I did. Continue to do that. And it really has been the best thing I've ever done. And the clients who work with me as well will tell you exactly the same. You know, you really want to focus having a mentor or a coach. Number two, you don't stick to the process. Really easy for you to, you know, just kind of go on doing the things you're doing. Okay. And success comes from a process. Success comes from, you know, following guidelines of how to do something properly. Today, I've given you an insight into that. You know, you've got to create traction. You can't just go out there and expect your business to go and do really well. You've got to have substance behind it. You've got to be an authority, because if you're not an authority, people don't trust you. So you'll be constantly in a position of, you know, trying to impress people on the day rather than building that relationship in the background. And that's when you can't close deals. Okay. So you want to stick to a process. The process I've talked to you about today is bulletproof. It works every time. Okay. So really, you know, go in, take a look at it, and really understand how that's going to help your business. And then finally, letting the outside world dictate their business. This was my challenge for a long time. My old PT, who I actually worked with, was a reason why I let people dictate my business. Okay, because I had a personal trainer coaching me at one point, and he worked in the same gym, and he charged a certain amount. And because I looked up to him, I felt that I couldn't charge above him ever. So I never put my prices up to above his level. But what I realized as time went on was, you know, you never let anyone dictate your business. If you want to charge higher rates, then do it. If you want to talk about, if you want to be an expert in a certain niche, if you want to be an expert in a certain area, just go and do it. You know, if you're passionate about the area, then do it. Don't let others and the fear of what they say dictate your business, because if you do that, you'll always be in a place where you're holding yourself back from what you can truly do. Okay. And we all struggle with this. It doesn't go away, but you've just got to, someday you've got to let it go. Okay. So look, those 3 points are really valuable. They're kind of a little bonus on top of the PTC system because they're so powerful. And look, Addie was another one of our clients who was in that situation. She'd never had a mentor. You know, she was always in the position of other things were dictating her business, and Addie was in a position of wanting to get rid of her studio. All right, she'd done this personal training. She built this personal training studio to really follow her passion, follow, you know, what personal training had done for her, and she was just in an awful position of working so many hours. And she was charging $1 a minute sessions. So, you know, some people would do $25, some people would do $40. Her income was all over the place. Things just weren't going well. So we did those things. We created traction, built the authority piece, magnetized clients, closed deals. She now has 11 clients on a 6K package, which is a 6-month package. So she's doing 6 figures. And, you know, Addie's one of our most successful clients, not in terms of the numbers she produces, but just in terms of how she sticks to the process, right? One of the things that she really has done is she's just gone all in. And the money's been great for Addie. You know, she's had a trip to the Maldives with her family. She's bought a new car. Like, there's loads of things that have changed. But the big thing for her, as you can see from the message here, okay, the big thing for her is the fact that she no longer works 7 days a week. She's got 3 children, and her husband owns his own business too. She now works, you know, 3-4 days a week, and she works 2 or 3 hours a day. Okay. That is where the power lies of this model. Once you start to put things into place, you can really take back your life, your freedom, and your financials. Okay. So look, where you're at now, if you're listening to this, you might be like, yeah, this is great, but I'm having these thoughts. This isn't for me. Okay. This is for you, even if you don't have a social media following. Okay. All of those people that I've mentioned so far, and most of our clients, have not got a social media following when they come and join us. Okay. It doesn't matter if you're currently charging $20, $30, $40, $50 an hour, because that's where you're at right now. Okay. You can be charging $80, $100 an hour. Okay. This is still going to benefit you. This system is still going to give you what you need to actually build six-figure freedom and six-figure wealth. Okay. And the final thing is, this is for you even if you don't feel experienced enough. Now, let me clarify that, because I'm not saying you can't be a good personal trainer. You have to be good at what you do. Okay. But you don't have to be years in the industry. Okay. If you're getting client results, if you're getting good results with your client, you're building relationships, you're ready to take this business of yours to six figures and take back your freedom. Okay. You really are. And what you want to do, what this PTC system will help you do, is really build a new identity. All right. Because it will allow you to create something new in the market. It'll allow you to feel valued in yourself. It'll allow you to feel that authority piece. Okay. That strength of confidence. It's a scalable model. You're not going to be working one-to-one with clients for 6, 7, 8, 9 hours a day anymore. All right. There's another way of doing this. And you're really looking for this six-figure freedom piece, because six-figure freedom is, as I've said, it's everything. Okay. It's the whole lifestyle. Okay. You don't need to be tied to the gym every day. You don't need to be tied to one-to-one clients to get them results. Okay. You don't need to be constantly chasing new business. You don't need to be offering discounts, special offer challenges to bring in new business. And really, this PTC system is what's going to allow you to take yourself to that next level. Okay. So if you want the new identity, you want to feel valued, the scalable model, the six-figure freedom. If you want these, I'm going to put a link below. And that link below just simply allows you to apply for a strategy call with myself. And on the strategy call, there's tons of value. This isn't kind of like jumping on a call and you come in working with me. It's definitely not like that. There will be an opportunity to work with me at the end, potentially, if we feel it's both a great fit. But really what I want to do on this application call is find out where your business is at right now. Are you struggling financially, or are you doing pretty well? You're doing six figures already, and you want to take back your freedom. Okay. We can dive into what areas specifically aren't going well for you. And then from there, we can actually start to hash out a plan. Okay. I can point out the key areas you need help with. And if what I'm saying sounds good, then we can talk about an offer. Okay. So there's no, this call isn't a hard sell. Okay. So if you want these results, I'm going to put the link below. Okay. Apply for that call and put in the timings that are going to be good for you. And I'll reach out and confirm all that is in place. But if you want these results, that call is available for you as you've gone through this webinar. And I do thank you for your time. But the final piece, I suppose, is really imagining what this is going to be like. Okay, because this call can be a life-changing moment. It has been for so many people. Because imagine if you're not, sitting right now where your marketing's a problem, where you don't know what you're doing to bring in new clients, where you don't know what you're doing to actually attract new business. Imagine if your prices can increase. You're not special offers anymore. You're not discounts. You're not low pricing. You're not lowballing. And because of that, you're bringing in higher quality clients to your business, right? Imagine if instead of, a 50, 60, 70, 80K income, imagine if that goes to 150, 200. Okay. What does that do for you? Does that change things? Right. Imagine if you're working crazy hours at the moment, if you can take back those hours, working 3 or 4 hours a day. Okay. You've still got to do the work, but imagine having all that free time. Imagine being able to take your client results away from one-to-one FaceTime. Imagine having the systems to combine that with other work. Okay, imagine all these different ways of running your business right now, and imagine actually having those in place in a short time, literally within a 30 to 90 day time period. Okay, if you want all that, as I said, there's a link below. But apart from that, I really hope you've got something out of today. I really trust that you have, because as I said, this is the opening system to how my clients get results. You build this, you build six-figure freedom. Okay, so yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out on Facebook. But other than that, I trust it helped, and I really do thank you for your time. And yeah, apply on the link below, and I look forward to speaking with you and really looking where we can take your business pretty soon. Cheers.